I'm 22 years old and graduated college last year, and going in I thought I had it all figured out, but boy, let me tell you, I definitely did not. In this video, I'm going to give you the 5 brutal truths about college that I wish I knew at 18 going in. So if you're just getting into college or if you just graduated like me, I think there's some value here for everybody, so let's jump right into it. Number 1, nobody is coming to save you. And I know this is brutal and it sounds harsh, but it's the truth. For the first 18 years of your life, your hand is basically held from the time you're a baby until you graduate high school. Somebody or multiple people are there for you at all times, whether it be parents, friends, teachers, whoever it may be. They are constantly offering you help and checking in on you, making sure you are organized and on track with life. In college, these people still exist and are still available, but a vast majority will not do it on their own. You are the one who reaches out, you're the one who asks for help, it's not just offered. And while the help is there, you're not living at home anymore. Nobody is looking over your shoulder. Nobody is asking you every single day, hey, do you have homework today? Or how was your day? And no professor or advisor cares about you if you don't put in the time to care about them. So when you're overwhelmed or you have a test coming up or finals week and you don't know what to do with yourself, it's up to you to go seek out different ways to reduce that stress and the people to try to help with that as well. I don't say this to scare you, but I say it because I want you to know what you're getting into when you get into college. If you reach out to people and you find different resources to help you get through the college years and to be healthy and happy, they're there and you will have a great time. But if you sit with yourself and you wait for people to come ask you and beg you to do work and get your homework submitted and get your papers done on time, you're not going to find it. Similarly, your experience is genuinely what you make of it when it comes to college. When you're young, you're put into activities from your parents or whoever, sports, theater, training, whatever it might be. A lot of activities are pretty much chosen for you and you get put into them and then you either stick with them or you don't. Not to mention you're sitting in school for 7 hours a day throughout high school, middle school, and elementary school. Your days naturally have less time due to these obligations, some of which aren't even your decision. And in college, none of this applies. Every single part of your day is something that you handpick, from your schedule to your free time to work. You decide what you do every single day, and nobody is there to tell you otherwise. You create your schedule, which most of the time, if you're like me, results in about 3 to 4 hours of classes per day or less. There were days at college where I literally had 1 class. There were days in college I didn't have class once I got to my senior year. So when you're able to manufacture that schedule and your classes the way you want, you seriously will have more free time than you have ever had in your life. And if you sit there and do nothing, don't join any clubs, sit in your room all day, go on your phone instead of going out and meeting people, not only will you be extremely bored and hate your college experience, but it will be extremely hard to make friends, because making friends at college is a little bit different than anything you've ever done before. Making friends at college is seriously about the effort that you put in. There are people there. There are tons of people. You may not connect with people on the first day, but by joining clubs, that's the biggest thing I would say. By joining clubs, you will find like-minded individuals and people who you can see yourself getting along with. And then once you find those people, then college becomes a whole different experience. My first year at college, I met 2 guys who were really amazing and we had a great time together, but admittedly, we were from different areas and we didn't share a ton in common at first. But then I joined 2 different clubs. I joined the men's flag football team and I joined the admissions team where I was actually working. And between admissions and flag football, I really found my people and it made the rest of my college experience 10 times better. Not to mention I got to try out some really cool things by joining clubs. I announced some of my college's basketball games, and sports announcing was something I've always wanted to do. I was also able to run events for the admissions office, which really helped me in my current professional job. So having these different experiences would not have been possible, and I wouldn't have grown in these ways, not only as a person, but also for my career, if I hadn't taken my free time and actually joined clubs and done productive things with it. But like anything, balance is key, and with all that free time, there will also be a lot of temptation, and temptation will consume you if you let it. Take it from me, when I came into college, I was a lot younger, I was nervous, and I didn't really know what to expect, and the first year was one of the worst years of my life. I hated my school, I had a breakup that I went through, wanted to transfer, I had minimal friends, and I was barely involved on campus. Going into my second year, I vowed that that would be different, but that first semester of my sophomore year only brought more temptation and more decisions that I wish I had done differently, both socially and professionally. I got more involved in the clubs like I mentioned, but it wasn't really until the second half of that semester that I really locked in on the clubs. Those first couple months were a lot of the same from freshman year. Not enjoying myself, not taking the initiative, and trying to make the most out of my experience. And I suffered because of it, not only at school, but also with my relationships from back home. For most people, college is the first true freedom you acquire. Free of parents, friends, high school cliques, whatever it is, you're able to do whatever you want, whenever you want, with whoever you want. And the scariest part about this is that nobody ever needs to know if you don't want them to. Sure, sometimes your parents may call you every day or every week, whatever, but at the end of the day, if you do something at college and you don't want your parents to know about it, they may never find out. I don't say that to promote anything like that. I'm just saying it because it's the honest truth. And this freedom is intoxicating, it's exhilarating, but it's also addictive. And like anything addictive, it can also be detrimental. There will be times when everyone around you is doing something unethical, disruptive, or something that simply doesn't align with your beliefs or your morals. In these moments, it's where your character is built. It's in these moments where you're in a new place, a new environment with new people. And yes, naturally, everybody wants to fit in, but when somebody's doing something or a group of people are doing something that you don't agree with, it's in these moments where you need to make a decision as to who you're going to be. The main things I saw at college that really disturbed me were drinking habits, drug habits, and lustful actions. And those three things were all things that I vowed to never get myself involved in. I'm not going to sit here and tell you I didn't drink at college. That would be a lie. But I never did a drug, and lust was something I avoided at all costs. Of course, you're going to fall, and you're going to have situations where you slip up, and those are some of the situations in my life and the moments that I do regret, and I don't regret a lot. But some of those temptations I fell into at college, I definitely do regret it because I was like, I didn't need to be out till 3 o'clock in the morning and spend however much money that night. It didn't have to happen, Nothing detrimental, I'm grateful to say, but that's because I knew who I was at the end of the day. I looked in the mirror and I knew the kind of person I was, and I refused to allow that temptation consume me. Just know it's always better to choose to do the right thing and quote unquote miss out on an activity than to sell your soul and fall into that temptation. I'm not telling you not to have fun. I'm not telling you to don't do anything that I mentioned, but I'm just saying there's a line and you always want to make sure to be on the right side of it. And I know a lot of this has been talking about the social aspect of college because at the end of the day, that is really what the hard truths are about. The school is one thing, but the social aspect is what really is a big flip from anything you've ever experienced before. But with that being said, your professors can be gold mines. You'll probably come across approximately 40 professors during your undergrad years, and a lot of them will be completely useless to you, or simply just a professor that you see and then you don't talk to ever again. But there will be a handful that may just be the person you need to land an internship, a job, or who knows the right people to connect you to for the rest of your life. During my time at school, I ended up interning for one of my professors at his day job, and his day job was actually doing a talk show at a sports radio station. And that was one of my dreams, to work in the sports industry, and it still is. And that experience is one that's almost at the top of my resume because of how amazing it was. I wouldn't have been offered that internship if I didn't take initiative during class, raising my hand, saying hello when I came into the class, and saying, hope you have a good day, and also just engaging in more conversations and making sure that my professor knew who I was just as much as I knew who he was. My other professor and advisor actually connected me with someone who helped me land an interview at my first full-time job, which I'm still currently at. So all I have to say about this is raise your hand, ask questions, and talk to your professors. It's not weird to raise your hand. It's not weird to be the only person answering questions. Not only do your professors appreciate that, but that connection that you're building inadvertently with them can actually lead you to so many different doors that you never thought would be possible. You just genuinely never know where your professors could help you out, so it's always important to build those relationships. And while you're building those relationships and balancing your life and making sure that you're enjoying your college time, the one thing that I would recommend to every single college student is to study abroad, because studying abroad will change you forever. So many people decide against studying abroad before even taking a look at it for a plethora of reasons. It's too expensive, the major won't allow it. The truth is, studying abroad is much more realistic than you think. You can apply your scholarship money and financial aid to the cost of studying abroad, and you can also take online classes in addition to the in-person ones that you'll be taking while you're abroad. That's what I did during my sophomore year spring semester. I decided out of nowhere to go pick up my life and go move to Florence, Italy for a whole semester, and let me tell you, it was the best thing I've ever done in my life. Up to this time, I had never even gone on a plane. Literally never boarded a plane. My first plane ride ever was a 7-hour flight from New York to Frankfurt, Germany, and then from Frankfurt to Florence. And I was in Florence for the next 4 years, and I traveled all throughout Europe, and just immersing yourself in a completely different culture, a completely different environment, the European lifestyle. Like I said, it was my first time there, and it's an experience that I cannot suggest more to every single person. Going anywhere abroad will change your perspective on the world, on life, and it will help you grow because you're actually forced to be in a completely different environment where it's not comfortable, it's not normal, but it's still something that should be exciting. And the world is a beautiful, beautiful place. If you've never traveled before, or even if you have, pick a place, any city that you may enjoy going that you think could be cool. Look into how much it would cost to go study abroad. And the coolest part about studying abroad is it doesn't have to be for a full semester. I wanted it to be for a full semester because I wanted that full experience of immersing myself in a completely different culture for a good chunk of the year. But you can go abroad for a week, 2 weeks, a quarter of a semester. It doesn't matter. You can do all those things and they're always there and there's options. I promise you, I graduated with 2 degrees. I graduated in 3 years and I was able to study abroad for a full semester. So I promise you it's possible. And make sure you check out my videos coming up on studying abroad. I'm going to tag them in the top right of this video if they're out yet, because I'm going to be talking about study abroad a lot, and it was one of the best things that I've ever done in my life. So those were 5 brutal, honest truths about college that I wish I knew going in. If this video helped you at all, or if you resonated with any part of it, drop it in the comments. Let me know how your college experience went or how it's going, and I'd love to hear from you guys in the comments down below.